Hey y'all, welcome back. It is me, Britt Reacts. And in light of more and more information coming out every day revolving around Charlie Kirk and his murder, I have decided to just react to the normal people I've been reacting to, and kind of be able to talk alongside them and their thoughts on the situation. This one is Jesse Peterson. Why is his middle name leaving me right now? Hold on. Jesse Lee Peterson, sorry. And his reaction to Charlie Kirk's death. We'll talk about it on the other side. So just like yesterday, I guess I'll start with my thoughts. As of right now, it is 6:15 on September 12th, Friday, September 12th, as I film this. I know they have the suspect in custody. He was turned in by family members. I've seen varying reports. One said the family members recognized him and they went to their minister, who then, I guess, assisted in turning him in. I saw another report say that the minister recognized him and went to the family. Either way, the family aided in getting him turned in, which I think is honorable, and I'm sure devastating for the family to realize that their family member, their son, their brother, their nephew, whomever, is the cause of our nation weeping right now. The other thing I will say is I have seen more and more of this reporting that the left is to blame and the left is celebrating and the left is praising, and I really do wish we could stop using this as more of a divide and just allow this to be a matter of the heart. But again, it is what it is. It's the climate of our nation. I was quite disheartened to see that President Trump went on one of the morning shows this morning, and the hosts were like, the nation is so divided, what can we do? And instead of what I think I hoped for from him was to hear a solution of how to divide us, he pointed that finger at the left and completely blamed the left. And I think it was the perfect opportunity to give some unifying language rather than what felt like dividing, polarizing, divisive language. Whether the left is fully to blame, the Democrats are to blame, I think if we're all completely honest inside of ourselves, both sides are to blame. Both sides have had a part to play in all of this, all of the negative talk, all of the division in our country. And so I just wish we could put that aside and just share messages of hope instead of continuing to pick sides and talk about sides and all these things. The other thing I saw was that Charlie's body was transported via Air Force 2 back to his hometown of Arizona and escorted to the mortuary, or yes, I think that's the right term. And I saw photos of his wife in the back of a car looking completely shattered and torn apart, which one can't imagine. I can confirm that she and her children were there, so that's an extra level of devastation and trauma now that they have to navigate. I still stand where I stand. This is awful. There's no place for celebration. There's nothing but heartbreak around this situation for me. And I do wish that we could pull away from the polarizing talk and just show compassion for a brutal murder. But that's just me. All right, let's see what Jesse Lee Peterson has to say on the matter.
Unless your head is like really deep down in the sand somewhere, everybody know that Charlie Kirk was assassinated on yesterday while speaking at the university there at an event at the university in Utah. And it wasn't a shooting, it was an assassination by shooting. And I believe, I have no proof yet, but the person that did it had to be a perfect shooter. He had to.
Okay, and some of you, I've been reading your comments. Some of you let me know, some of you that live in Utah, let me know that a lot of men there hunt, and that someone who wasn't a top tier shooter professional could have absolutely done this shooting, having just the knowledge of hunting and the right weapon to do so. I think someone said it's not unheard of to be able to precisely shoot from 200 yards. And then they said, now if it were a mile, that'd be a different conversation. So I said the same thing as Jesse Peterson here, and like it clearly was a sharpshooter of some sort, but a lot of you corrected me, and I guess we'll find out soon once more and more gets revealed about this 22-year-old male.
It had to be a perfect shooter. He had to. They said it was 200 yards away, I believe, from Charlie. He had to be very professional, like a real hitman. Because so far, according to the report, they have not caught the person yet. So that means that somebody may, and I don't know yet, may be helping him to hide and all that kind of stuff. But I don't know. But it's a mess. It's evil. And when it happened, when I saw it, and online they show you exactly how the bullet hit the neck and blood just just everywhere. Charlie fall back, and there's blood just everywhere. We're not going to show you all the bloody stuff, but it's just everywhere. And seeing that is different than hearing about it, really.
Oh, I agree with that one big time. Like I told you guys, I didn't watch it the day it happened. The next day I went back and watched it, and it was like a Tarantino movie. Like I've never seen in actual real life something like that happen, and like it just goes to show you how human we actually are, and the inside of us is all the same. We all have the same insides, though our country seems to be so divided by so many other things that have to do with outward appearance or outward status. On the inside, we are all bleeding the same, and like it just made the moment so, it humanized him for me in a way that like I up until that point I had only thought of, I had only seen him on my screen. So to me, he was this public figure. But what a reminder from God that like we are literally all humans with the same beating heart and pumping blood in our skin. And if you pierce it, we will bleed. And that was, I don't know, it may seem like such a simple concept, but like sometimes watching something so real and raw can just humble you as a human fleshly body. That I agree with. It was unreal to witness.
Seeing that is different than hearing about it. Really. There's a different impact when you see it than when you hear. It reminded me of the young lady from Ukraine that
I haven't watched that video,
according to the report, was stabbed in the neck. And
okay, there have been some of you, very few people who have come in my comments talking about, well, why aren't we talking about the young woman in Ukraine? Why aren't we reporting about what happened to, please correct me if I'm wrong, I believe it was the governor and his wife of Minnesota. Please correct me if I'm wrong. And what I will say to you is, if you've ever been on my channel, you know I do not report on many news events. I tread very lightly when I do, mainly for my mental health, but also for yours. And it's all over the internet. And I just choose to, when we know there's darkness in the world, we know it. We see it on social media, on the news. We hear it in our communities. I just choose to not be clickbaity and report on everything that's a trending topic, because that's just not who I am, guys. I have to be true to myself. But the Charlie Kirk situation for me was very relevant to my channel, because I've been reacting to Charlie now for months, and last week alone I reacted to 2 videos back to back, and so it just felt like the right thing to do to speak on it, because I have been speaking about him and what I thought of him in a positive way for the most part. I mean, I could disagree with what he was saying sometimes, but I understood the vision that he was trying to execute, in just showing the youth that you can debate, you can disagree, and you can do so respectfully and in the same place and not hurt one another. And unfortunately, someone decided to go against his ideal of that, because they disagreed with him. But yeah, I know what's going on in the world, and I break every time I see something, because I feel like we're getting further and further from what God wants for us, and we're getting further and further from what I believe our country was founded on originally, as far as Christian ideals and loving thy neighbor and respecting one another and helping each other. I see it. I'm not ignoring it. I just have to do what is healthy for myself. And I'm even treading around this topic very lightly and trying to keep it authentic to my channel. I've reacted to Jesse Lee Peterson quite a bit recently. And so I'm trying, and Joe Rogan I react to all the time. So I'm trying to make it a safe space for my community to commune and still stay relevant to what I've always reacted to, so it doesn't feel like, oh, Brit is just trying to get views, because I don't want to use someone else's demise for monetary reasons. It is not on my to-do list. I do quite well being of great character and great moral compass without having to step on those who have been tragically treated by other human beings. So that I just want to address that, because some people have been negative and some people have just asked, like, if you're talking about this, why aren't you talking about that? That is my answer. You don't have to agree, but that is my authentically true to myself answer. Okay. And now I think more than ever, us creators have to be super intentional with our platforms and the things that we say, knowing that we have reach and we have an audience and we have influence, and also protecting myself and my family. What's stopping someone from harming me because they disagree with what I sit in front of my camera and say? Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't take my job lightly. This is a job. I sit down every day. This is work. And it may not feel that way to people who are consuming it, but it provides for my family. It is a job. I have to research the things that I'm looking up. I have to be super vigilant and aware of what's going on the internet. It is a job. And so I just don't take any of that lightly. Anyway, I feel like this has really opened me up with you guys to be more just transparent, I guess. And I do want to continue to have a discourse about what is happening real time due to this Charlie Kirk situation, but I want to do it in the best way possible for me and my YouTube community. Okay? All right. Thank you so much.
That was, according to the report, was stabbed in the neck. And she didn't realize, it appears that she didn't realize at first she had been stabbed like that. And
y'all, I don't know if I can watch that one.
There for a minute, and she tumbled over and died. Seeing that had a major impact. And it's evil. Both cases are evil, done by evil people. That's not love. And in my country today, anger, evil, resentment, evil, is pushed and promoted as necessary, as good. They lie to you and tell you that Jesus was angry, and they lie to you and tell you that anger, they have righteous anger. And emotional anger is not righteous anger at all. But you believe a lie. I can't convince you. No one can convince you that you don't have righteous anger. You have evil anger, unless you want to see it and overcome it. So, and when I saw what happened to Kirk,
that was a word.
Charlie
don't let it go over your head.
It was sad. It really was. And I have met him over the years. I've talked to him over the years. I can't say that we were friends, but I do know him, and he seemed to be serious and legitimate in what the work that he was trying to do. I didn't realize how young he was.
Same.
He was younger than Bond, my nonprofit organization, 35 years old. My organization, he was 31, I think, 33 or something. And I didn't know he was that young, and I didn't know he had a wife and kids.
Same.
That's amazing. But may his soul rest in peace, and I wish his family well. 31 years old, had a son and a little girl. And he was assassinated, from what I know and heard, because of what he talked about and what he believed. And there doesn't seem to be any other reason, which is amazing to me. Really, it's touching that this happened to him. And it should not be happening, period, but it definitely should not be happening in America. We are a Christian nation. Where is the love? And the Democrats and the media and others, they've been pushing since Donald Trump been in office, they've been pushing nothing but hate, anger, overreaction. And unfortunately, anger is being pushed as good now in America. Evil have played a trick on the mind of human beings like I've never seen before.
Evil has played a trick on the mind of human beings like he's never seen before. Again, I don't necessarily agree with it all being Democrat and left-wing media's fault. I think all media and a lot of politicians want us to stay separated, want us to choose sides. And I see it on both sides. I you know what I mean? I don't see it here in my community, which I think I'm fair to say that my community is definitely more right-leaning, which is interesting because I don't find myself leaning either way. The more I dive into this type of content, I learn I'm really somewhere. I wish we could do right is right and wrong is wrong. I just wish that was the heartbeat of our politics. Right is right and wrong is wrong. And I, being a Christian, raised my entire life in the Christian church, the Baptist church, absolutely think that my core, my compass is probably that more of a conservative person, but my heart beats for everybody. My heart wants for everyone to feel love and compassion and empathy. And so I find myself a lot of times in the middle wanting to like hug everybody. So I don't know, you guys. I was raised to believe that, not because anyone told me, but because of what I saw and heard, that Black people were Democrats. Black people are Democrats. Like that's just how I was raised to understand politics. And the older I've gotten and the more this channel has changed my life and in my own education and self-work, understanding that like my faith, my biblical beliefs, if you want to put a title on it, absolutely idealistically believe more in the conservative. And I for me, there's a difference between Democrat, Republican, and liberal and conservative. I do not identify as being more Republican than I do Democratic. I just feel if there's a spectrum, liberal here and conservative here, I definitely have more conservative ideology in my life, in my living, in my family. But I think everyone has a part to play in this. I think everyone should take a look at themselves in the mirror. And that's just my take. I don't think we can only blame liberals and Democrats. I think there are tons of Republicans, there are tons of conservatives, there are tons of right wing, there are tons of left wing and vice versa, and all the things that have played into this very negative narrative. And it's all simply because people don't like that other people don't agree with what they believe to be true. And now that's become dangerous. Now that has become a life decision in some weird, awful, evil way. Evil way.
At one point, we in America promoted love. Even when I was growing up in Alabama on a plantation.
He grew up on I can assume he means former plantation. I could have guessed he was a Southern man just by the way his drawl is so Southern, but like by Southern I mean like the backwoods, like deep South. Like when he first opened the video, he said Charlie Kirk, and that wasn't I don't think it was disrespectful. I think like his Southern accent just is so thick. So now he's confirmed that for me.
Told to love one another, not hate one another. Mm-hmm. That there are good in some people, they're bad in some people. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But we should not hate. And it doesn't matter the color. That's gone now. Hate is promoted in the forefront of life. Isn't that amazing? Supporting evil. God said to love your neighbor as yourself, meaning don't hate. And when you don't hate, it doesn't mean that you're accepting evil. As a matter of fact, it's a perfect way of of dealing with it by not hating. You see it, you understand it, you know why it's happening, but you don't hate because you will become like what you hate. Ain't no way
Ooh,
around it.
Jesse is preaching the Bible. You will become what you despise. You'll become it. Allah, let's just hypothetically say this 22-year-old man that took Charlie Kirk's life, that assassinated this man, did it because he hated what Charlie Kirk was doing. His hate stirred up so much in him, it made him perform evil. Like, think about that. All these people who are on social media praising this man's murder, which a lot of you have been like, if you see it, screenshot it and send it to their jobs. Y'all are doing, keep up the good work. Evil only breeds evil. That's why you must meet it with kindness. It's why. In my comments, anyone who disagreed with me yesterday, they didn't meet me. I didn't meet them with evil. I met them with love and kindness. And then I moved on. I don't engage deeply. You might get one response from me, and then you're arguing with yourself. Learn that lesson. But he who lives in a glass house shall be the only one throwing a stone, okay? And I don't know a single person on this earth that lives in a glass house. Metaphorically. Some of y'all might live in glass houses for real, but you know what I mean. If he without sin, let him be the first to throw the stone. So those of you that feel, and I think there's maybe a half of a human in here that feels like Charlie Kirk, watching me, feels like Charlie Kirk got what he deserved. You must live in a perfectly clean house. Your house must be immaculate, without sin, without evil thoughts, without any kind of wrong, that you could say such a thing. All right. I believe Jesse Lee Peterson and I are on the same page. I respect greatly anyone who is willing to go against the masses or take up, confront, and have conversation with people who think differently from him or her. And Jesse Lee Peterson is another person who has conversations with people who not only greatly disagree with him, but disrespectfully disagree with him. I'm going to end this video like I've ended every other one. Choose kindness. Be the light. This world is full of so much darkness. Don't add to it. There is enough. All right? And at the end of it all, I hope you have the day you deserve. Keep praying, y'all. Keep praying.